All right, we should be live. This is Matt and Paul, and we are watching the ChessGoals Rapid Tourney, July 2021. So if you're in the YouTube chat, I see a few of you in here already. Let us know. Can you see and hear everything okay? And the games have started. So if we look at the scoreboard quick, a little smaller event this time. We have 6 players. And on board 1, we have Fisher and Chips, the highest rated player, 1871, playing the white pieces against Bonafide 66. And what do we have in this game? It looks kind of like a Marazzi bind setup. Have you seen this kind of structure before, Paul?
I don't know. You know me. I don't know these structures at all, these names or any of that stuff.
So the idea is black kind of has control of the dark squares. So see this d6 pawn controls these 2 squares. Bishop cuts through the diagonal, the knight hits these dark squares, and white's going for the light square control. And white has a huge space advantage. So if you put this into like the engine will almost always say white's up pretty big here, but there is a lot of dynamic play for black. So they're very interesting positions. So this one pretty much still in book. Let's go to board 2. Here we have 2 ChessGoals members from our Discord. We have Argo with the white pieces, Wiersbe with the black pieces. And this one's a Scotch game, so it started out e4, e5. Again, white's going for space. Wait, did that blunder a piece, Paul?
Well, so I was looking at, I just already asked him, like, wait, what's going on over here?
I think that the move is supposed to be c3.
Yeah, I was interrupted, and I'm like, wait a second, I must have missed something. I didn't want to do the calculation going, like, that's a gone piece, and he didn't catch it.
Unless, is there some sort of trick here that, maybe there's a trick.
What's the trick?
Like knight d5?
Okay, what is that? No.
Eval's -3.
Yeah, that's a blunder.
Is it knight takes?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so funny. I literally was like, wait, I'm like, oh, I must be wrong. I must have calculated something wrong. I literally thought that, I swear.
Yeah, I almost missed it at first. I was just flying through the moves, but you're exactly right. Either piece can take, and black's up 2 points.
Immediately.
Wow, what a miss by both players. Okay, so now we got this position, and I'd say this is pretty close to equal. Yeah, eval bar 0.5.
Oh, he's going to kick himself for that one later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He must have been in auto mode, because I look at that going, man, I literally thought to myself, like, oh, I must have missed something. And I was like, I'm not going to calculate it right now. We're in the middle of the video.
Well, look at the clock time. 21 seconds for black here and 36 for white. So white spent 36 seconds to play this, and black spent 21 to not capture on d4. So I see we're up to 6 viewers in the YouTube chat. Let us know if you can hear and see everything okay if you're watching. And then let's go to board number 3. I don't know these players. We have Hype 71 against a National Master.
Yeah. National Master with a 1200 rating.
Yes. Hey, we have Trey in here in the chat. Hey,
that lost a pawn.
Oh yeah, this pawn is hanging, and look at these squares open to the black king.
Well, there's 2 pawns hanging right now.
Which one would you take?
The G7 pawn.
Hitting the rook, then it probably
hitting the rook and the other pawn, and hitting the other pawn too.
Win that next.
Hitting H6. This is game over.
Yeah, and we have a huge rating advantage here too.
Yeah,
400 points.
I think this is game over.
I agree with you.
This is already a game over.
Okay, let's play guess the eval.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he took that. I'm gonna guess.
Black can't castle. I have my guess.
I'm gonna guess plus 3.7.
I'm going plus 6.
Plus 6.
Oh, 10.
Oh, wow.
So Stockfish is already like finding the checkmate here.
Yeah, this is bad.
I see Jordan in the chat too. How are you doing, Jordan? He said looking good. Stream looking good, or are you talking about Paul?
I just got my wig busted yesterday.
Yeah. You're looking fresh, Paul.
Looking fresh.
Did you shower this morning?
I did.
Well, it makes one of
Right
us.
before the show. I slept in a little bit, showered a little bit, put on some deodorant.
Nice. We did like an hour-long walk this morning, and
Not Matt and I. Matt and his wife and dogs.
oh yeah, right.
I would definitely.
We walk together when you come to visit.
Oh, absolutely. Love walks.
Yeah. Okay, let's circle back.
Go back to that real quick. Do you mind?
Yep.
So here, oh, he took that pawn. Okay. I actually would have done queen g8 check.
Force something to go back and block, probably a rook.
Yeah. And then from there, then take, well, he just dropped the bishop.
Yeah, so this is a little bit confusing. I don't know if that was a good decision to give up the bishop like that. I suppose what you could do is knight d5 and a quick rook e1, but maybe he missed that. Dropping the bishop.
I think he missed that. I thought he was going to take that pawn there.
I mean, this still has to be winning for white. It was such a big advantage to begin with.
All right, so this is good. Up +1. What do you think?
Gotta watch this threat. I would say, okay, it's +1 for black, but I'm still gonna go like +4 eval for white.
I'm gonna go with. Okay, that's a move I thought to do, by the way. Pin that bishop.
I'm going +4. Jordan said both in the chat to the looking good comment.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna say it's much lower, +2.7.
9.5. Wow. So still completely winning without the bishop. Yeah, did you see, Paul, probably not, but we made a video on the imbalance scorecard. What we did was we took Silman's Reassess Your Chess and had all the different imbalances, and we created a way where you could actually assign a value to each imbalance, similar to your stock analyzer tool, right? You get all the criteria. Oh no.
You know, yeah, that's bad.
Oh no, did he miss that?
Oh no.
Did you see this trap? Rook F1?
I actually thought here, take the bishop.
Rook takes. Oh yeah, and then take the rook next.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're up 2 clean pawns, everything's solid.
Yeah, you're done. It's over. What's the eval now, Matt? Oh, this is bad.
I mean, I guess you have to take, move king. I mean, at this point, you got a queen for a rook and 2 pawns. It's got to be -5.
This is bad.
-2.5. Okay, so the game's not completely
this is
over.
swung big time.
That's crazy. I mean, you see a move like rook F1. That's got to put your threat radar on. What, it's not a mouse slip. That's going to be a rare mouse slip because there's nowhere else you were going to put the rook down there. You can't go
What's the best move here? I think rook takes e7 is the best move here.
I'm trying to think if I would do anything different before turning on the engine.
Queen h8. You block with rook. Then queen h5 check.
Oh, maybe queen here.
Immediately?
Yeah. Because if you go to the F file, I take your rook with check.
Oh, if they block with rook, you do rook f1.
Exactly. And that rook is dying.
But you win the clean rook by taking the bishop. You win the clean bishop.
Well, you lose the rook in return.
But you get the rook back.
Yeah, so you're winning a bishop.
What I just said was accurate.
Yeah, you're winning clean bishop. I think you said clean rook.
I said clean rook, then I said you win in clean bishop.
Yeah, but in this line, queen check, rook F1, like you said, I think you're winning the whole rook, and it's almost mate. I don't even see a way out.
Maybe it is queen h5 then. Why don't you hit it and see what it is? Boom, there it is.
Oh, it even likes knight.
Wait, I can't see it. It's still granular for me. What does it say?
It says queen h5, rook f7, and knight d5. Just hitting them from all angles.
Oh.
That's a
What about
strong.
knight h5, knight d5 now?
In this position?
Oh no, because they've got the yeah. Because if they take the rook on e1, you're going to take back with rook,
Right.
and it's still pinning the bishop.
Yeah, but I think that's still a strong move, and you still have the same kind of queen threats.
And then you also have knight. Oh no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was looking knight f6, but they have the knight guarding it.
Yeah. Wow,
All
what
right,
a miss.
Let's see what they're at right now.
Okay, wait, how did black lose their queen? So we had bishop check, king moved,
Oh.
and then check.
Oh.
I don't know if I would have got, oh, okay, maybe that is the best route if you're afraid of the black queen. That was interesting. So he gave up the queen for free, knowing that he was going to win the queen back. So now we get this endgame where it's a bishop for 2 pawns. Black still has to be quite a bit better here. I mean, a whole extra minor piece.
And that knight right now is pretty shut down.
Yeah, look at this bishop cutting through, guarding all the knight squares.
Yeah, the knight's got to go to like b4 even to get out, or c3.
Yeah, this has to be good. Jordan says he would play, but he's feeding his son, so he's watching instead. Thanks for watching, Jordan. Good to have you here. Let's go back to this game where when we left off, there was this missed free piece on d4 by both players. So here, white decided to trade knights, trade bishops, and bishop e2. This doesn't drop the e4 pawn because of knight takes c7. So both players castle, d6, f3, check, the king moves, and bishop d7. So pretty standard looking position, very solid. Do you have a preference?
C3, knight d4. I like knight c3 more.
Would you say slight edge for white here? It's bad bishop.
That is a bad bishop. Black's king safety is a lot better though.
It's maybe pretty balanced.
Yeah, it looks pretty even in my IMO.
Wow,
That's
look
in
at
my
that.
opinion for those of you boomers out there.
Yeah. 0.4, Paul.
Oh, wow. Well, we all know that in chess exam, I hate that question of evaluate this position.
Yeah, Paul and I are doing the chess exam book currently. We go through probably 3 or 4 puzzles a week. And it's always 2 parts. And part 1 is evaluate the position, and part 2 is usually find the best move. And it's really a good book because it's not like doing a tactics trainer where you know there's one answer and it's always like a win or a forced draw. It's positions where you don't know if it's like a 1-point advantage, 5-point advantage, equal.
Yeah.
I really like it.
And not every question is evaluate the position.
Yeah, but most of them do for part 1.
Ugh, barf.
All right, so let's move to Fisher and Chips. This was that Marazzi bind setup. And if we look at this position now, I feel white's got all the control. There's a bishop pair. The open files are the C and A files. So really the action's all going to be on the queen side. And all of white's pieces are set up well for the queen side. This knight's ready to come over here. Bishop's point queen side. I think this has to be a huge advantage for white. And it's kind of on black to try to mix up this position a bit. Tactics.
Knight f5.
Hitting the bishop and guarding their bishop.
Oh, and hitting the e7 pawn.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so probably queen back to d8.
Yep. Then you take the bishop if you want it off the board because that bishop cuts right through everything.
Yeah, and then I want to get the queen in soon. Maybe queen c7.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really good. That's a risky
Knight
move.
f5, queen takes b4, knight takes e7, check. Actually, the knights might get trapped there.
Hey, maybe black
No, you
is
have
setting a trap.
Knight c8. You have knight c8.
But do you think black is setting a trap here?
What's the trap?
Well, so like I was just mentioning how black should maybe try to mix up this position a little bit. Maybe the trap is knight f5, take pawn, and then try to win this knight in the end.
Well, but you have knight c8.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Okay, so white's just playing very solid. I like this decision, actually. Now we can do knight f5 next, and there's no queen takes b4.
In fact, you can do knight e6.
Right, very good. Yep, so we got the bishop guarded. Now we can go attack rook and queen at the same time. Really nice move, knight e6. Yeah, I like this a lot, queen d2. Because if you look at this b4 pawn, it also guards c5, which is where the black knight may want to land. So it's just a really nice pawn to have here, and you don't really want to allow black to take, which will give black this passed b pawn in the end. So there's no white pawns to slow that pawn down. Why even give black that chance? So queen d2, really nice move.
Can we thank our corporate sponsor, Coke Zero?
Yeah, Coke Zero. What's the website? CokeZero.com. What's their ticker?
Oh man, his time is real low.
121.
Good boy. Back his ass up.
All right, so what does white do here to press the advantage?
Bishop h6. Is that anything fun? The question is, what do you do from there? That's the hard part.
Yeah. This is one of those positions where I might even play h.
Knight. What about knight b5? And then get the rook to c7.
I like that. Yeah, I really like that. I think that's the way to go, because how does this rook ever get over to the queen side to help? Okay, this could be the same idea. Maybe he's using the knight to poke at this pawn.
I like knight b5 more.
I kind of agree. There's just no way to kick that knight.
Yeah, I think knight b5 is better.
Yeah, knight b5, rook c7, it forces, let's say, queen c8. Oh, but then you could really harass the queen. Bishop a7, or you could bring your queen in to help out. Maybe you just put the queen on c2 and there's no rook c8. So we see knight b3, knight b6. But where's this knight going? Probably not a4. Now I'm looking at knight a5.
Yeah, because how does the queen guard both? Oh, there you go. How does the queen guard both the knight and the pawn?
That might be the deciding move right there.
That's it.
Win that pawn, you still have all the queenside advantages.
And lack of time.
Oh yeah, 39 seconds. I'm going +4 here.
I'm going mate in 3.
Plus 3.61.
That was close.
I mean, you had the 3, right?
For those of you who don't realize, I was joking about mate in 3.
You're coming.
Oh my God, this game is back and forth.
Yeah, this game is crazy. So we left it way back here. Black lost a pawn, but got this really active rook, which usually is even worth more than a pawn. Oh, black is shedding pawns like crazy, though.
Yeah.
You can't shed too many pawns, otherwise you might risk losing. Okay, so what's going on here? It's almost like a mating net attempt by black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we said mating net, I was like, trying the mating net. I don't see. I think rook f1. No, you lose the rook. You lose the knight.
Look at this idea. Bishop c1 check, forcing king back, and rook f1. I think this needs to come back to d1.
I think he's going to miss that. No. What's his rating? 1600?
What if he does rook d7, hitting this pawn? Bishop f1, king here, rook here. White's about to get mated. 11 seconds on the clock. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
GG.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Not like this. Rook f1. Or wait, is it not quite mate?
You can do C.
There's knight check, too.
Oh, this is bad.
That's the cleanest. I don't think there was quite mate, because maybe white could move the a-pawn. Yeah, this should be game.
Yeah, that's over.
Wow, impressive finish by black. So 400-point rating deficit. But she was able to get the rook really active, combo with the bishop and knight, and win the white rook. Very nice.
There it is. Smart.
What is going on, Paul?
That was really smart.
We do instant replay.
That was really smart. I was thinking to myself, is he trying to... Yeah.
Man, black got baited into losing the rook back. Okay, so now let's talk about who's winning this. I mean, I don't think black can win this, right?
Black cannot win this. So worst case, it's a draw. Now just start pushing pawns. I think white's going to win this. 3 connected passed pawns.
I think you're right.
I mean, offered a draw. Did I hear that?
Black offered a draw. White declines.
Yeah, he realizes it's lost. I think white's up ahead here.
I agree.
Oh.
I might put the king back on B.
Yeah, this is over. Because all that's going to happen is...
The king needs to be on B8.
King B7 now. Has to do king B7. Then just start pushing pawns still.
Yeah, there's too many pawns.
This is bad. C6. C6.
I mean, I suppose you could even start with these. Get this pawn all the way up to B6. Chop, chop, and then go C6.
Oh, wow. What a rebound for white. This is game now. We've said game like 8 times, by the way.
Yeah, so white was crushing in the opening. Drops their queen. And then they were winning again because they picked up all those pawns, but then they dropped their rook, and then they won the rook back, and now they're winning.
I would have just pushed the C6 pawn because there's no way to defend that knight. The knight's got to move. They drop A7.
I kind of agree with you, yeah. Just push C6, C7. I wonder if they were afraid of knight D6 check, but I mean, it drops the A pawn.
Yeah, that's the thing. Check. C7, C6, check. Immediate. Don't even think. You don't have time.
24 seconds.
Okay, that's smart.
Oh, take this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really easy. C takes B.
C takes B. A6, A7, knight takes, pawn takes, queen, game over. Bro, you have 10 seconds.
You got to do it. So he was probably calculating, like, is there a knight sack in the end? But I don't think there was. Push here.
7, B7.
Gotta go.
A6. Game over.
So both of the other games are finished, Paul.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. I don't really want to leave this one, though. Oh, are we going to see queen versus knight? Well, the knight's pinned. Okay, this is game. Let's jump around quick.
Jump around.
So this one, yeah, we knew this one was close to over. The bishop was just too strong. White actually won a piece right here. Remember we said that queen couldn't guard both?
Yeah.
Gave up the knight. And in this one... Wow, Paul, you're on your game. You were talking about the king safety in this game like 10 moves ago.
That's what I do.
Look at that.
It's the value investor in me.
Yeah.
They're playing this out?
Looks like it. I guess 33 seconds. But there is a 10 increment. 10-second increment.
Queen F2. Queen F2. Now bring the king in. Just keep bringing the king in. Oh, no, king G1. Queen G1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is over. No, start bringing your king in, bro.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
King's faster for sure. Oh, don't do it. Don't do queen G3.
He's got to be careful.
He's leaving 2 squares, which is good, because then he can always do that. Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, when you move the queen on all those moves, like it's really actually faster to just bring the king in.
Can we see the chart on this game?
I think so. Let's see if I can resize it for the screen share. Good enough. Oh, wow, look at that chart. Oh, no, our faces are covering the chart. On stream, I'm just moving our faces around. Look at this chart. All the ups and downs. All right. I'll move us back.
Yeah, that's bad.
That was just a crazy game. All right, so now if we do a quick recap of the standings, we have Fisher and Chips, Wiersbe 95, and Hype 71. The 3 higher rated players ended up winning in the end. All right, so now let's look at Fisher and Chips against Hype 71. We have a pretty standard Roy Lopez. Nothing too crazy has happened. No one's dropped a piece yet. Looks pretty normal. Board 2, we have Bonafide 66 on 0 points against Wiersbe 95 on 1 point. And this one's looking a little more exciting. We have a Sicilian with 2 pieces hanging. What is going on here? Even material. Black has the bishop pair, but the black king doesn't really have a safe home. I'm liking white here already. I think Wiersbe has a nice edge. And let's go to the last board. Our national master is playing white against Arga. Oh, we see it.
Can you please explain to everybody what a national master is and why this person is not a national master?
They could be. You never know. National master, usually you have a 2200 rating. At least in the US, it's 2200. Other countries might have different criteria. But if you put an NM in front of your name like that, that tends to mean national master.
I've beaten a lot of GMs on chess.com who put the GM in front of their name, even though they're not.
I've beaten some IMs lately, recently.
You've beaten one IM.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the correction. 1 out of 1.
It's true.
So here we have a caro-kann. And Arga, I believe, has the ChessGoals caro-kann course. It looks
Very
like
popular course.
Yeah, he's following that theory. I expect a pretty quick win by black in this one. Caro-kann. Let's jump back to this game. This is kind of the wildest position. We just saw rook g8 and a pawn falls. So white's up 1 here. Black king is just stuck in the middle. But there is the bishop pair for black. Like maybe he can get some play going. Oh, I see you're in the chat, Paul.
What was that?
I see you're in the YouTube chat.
Oh, yeah, I just said that game was crazy.
So I'm thinking this one's probably like a +2 for white at this point. Up a pawn, but also some activity, like this pawn's hanging. I don't like the black king in the center. So probably plus.
Hey, Matt, are we ever gonna do a blitz tournament?
You want to?
I would be involved if there was a 5-5 blitz tournament.
Like this format? Did you do a Swiss tournament?
Yeah, like 3 games.
Yeah, we should do it. We should do an everything money blitz tournament, actually.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
You want to?
Yeah, I'd put that out there.
So Paul's YouTube channel, in case you're wondering, everything money. What's the link, Paul? Is it just /everything money?
Yeah, because we're so big, we just get our own /.
Hey, we have our own / too.
I know, because you're big enough.
Thank you. Bishop b7 hitting g2. So Paul's channel is everything money. You should go subscribe there. They talk about value investing, stocks, bunch of stuff. Bishop
94.
94.
Problem is No. Oh, I don't like that. See, 94 made sense to me because if they do f5, you are taking e6 with check immediately. And you're really close to forking that rook.
Yeah, so 94, it's pretty much like an outpost. There's no easy f5 for black. Maybe they'd have to take time to play queen e7 first and then try to kick with f5. But knight f3 was played, and black is trading off one of the bishops. Oh, to get the g2 pawn, maybe. Okay, so again, like, you look at this position a few moves back. To me, white has all of the play in the position if we jump back to here. So I do think black is doing the right thing by trying to mix things up. Like, all of a sudden, we're in this really wild position, and white's not up any material, but I think you got to play that way if you're black. There is this check, but black seems back in the game to me.
Would you say black is back?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at this. Look at this diagonal.
Yeah.
The c1 bishop's not doing much.
I think you gotta sack the d4 pawn.
Throw it up right here.
Yeah. Or you can do a check on, what about check queen h8?
Do you want the queen trade? Oh, you have the knight check too.
Yeah, then you have the knight check. Oh, that gives some play.
I guess king could come here. But then there's bishop check. Yeah, this is interesting. Queen check, king here, knight check, king back.
What if queen goes to e7?
I think there's bishop g5 check.
Yeah,
and,
there you go.
Well, there's a complicated line here, actually. Rook takes.
Oh, no, yeah, because then knight takes, then bishop takes.
Right, we insert the queen trade, take here, and then in the end, this rook drops. I mean, queen check still feels like the critical move, but this is a really tough position. I mean, how do you deal with this?
Resign.
You know what I might do? Check for the winning tactics. He's got 7 minutes. If there's no winning tactics, I might trade queens and go king e2.
Yeah.
And
what's wrong with king e2 now then?
And maybe that's fine. Keep the queens on. You still have this check in reserve.
Yeah.
I guess this queen could become pretty active, and all of a sudden our king's maybe feeling uncomfortable if she's able to start flying around here. Because there's always king up when we queen check.
Big ups.
What's your eval guess?
Ugh.
A, white is winning. B, white is better.
I do think black is better.
I agree. I'm going half a pawn.
I was going to go more than that. Well, the queen check, the thing is, if we do king e2, the queen check and then winning h7 is right there.
That's true. That is true. That b7 bishop is just a monster. That's got to be the... So it's either like black is slightly better or white's up big and we don't see the tactic. It's one of the two. Queen h8 check could be winning.
Wait, so what's wrong with just moving the knight right now?
Hey, did you see this? It was exactly 0.5.
Congratulations. What's wrong with moving the knight right now?
Where do you want him?
Yeah, right there. Knight e5.
I might try queen h4. Because you have bishop e3.
Yeah, bishop e3.
Rook takes h2 as an option.
Oh, we don't have the queen check anymore. We don't have the queen at h8 check anymore.
Yeah, right. This is a really deep think by white. I mean, I think we've been on this position for like 3 minutes. Should we jump around?
Quite a while.
Let's look at Hype 71 against Fisher and Chips. Black is up 1 pawn. So how did this happen? Oh, a tactic in the middle. So the e-pawn's dropping after bishop e3. It's actually been a tournament of tactics so far. A lot of material dropping. So now in this position, I feel like white doesn't have anything for the pawn. Black's got the bishop pair. The e3 bishop is a bad piece. Trapped between two pawns. Isolated pawn. This guy's coming to g7 pretty quickly, applying pressure on the center, and probably c5 is coming. So I think black's up more than a pawn in terms of stockfish eval. I'm not paying attention to the chess.com game chats, but I see the players are talking a little bit about the game. The previous one.
I was going to say.
That Arga versus Wiersbe game. Wiersbe said he was low on time. Arga with the smiley. Okay, knight h2. What's the idea with knight h2? I guess coming to g4, trying to get at these dark squares.
Knight h2, more like...
Okay, Paul.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, nothing too exciting here. I think it's just I would say 2-point advantage.
What about queen g4?
Queen g4. Yeah, pin the g pawn.
Oh, knight f6. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I just think black's pieces are too well placed here. You're right. Knight f6, yeah. Great square for the knight. Okay, so if I'm playing white here, I think what I would want to do is try to get aggressive and attack the black king. So I like the idea of queen g4, but knight f6 is a good move. So maybe queen b3.
What about just taking the bishop off the board?
That's actually probably a good idea still. Get rid of the bishop pair. The bishop could be a monster. Hitting g2 long term. Because yeah, if I'm playing black here, I would probably tuck this guy back. Avoid that trade. So white should take. And then try to attack.
I figure they're going to do something like that.
King h7 could be a move. I mean, maybe f3. And knight g4. Because if you could get black to take with the h pawn, king f2, get the rook on the h file, could be some crazy way to get counterplay. Open the h file and get the rook to h1. And here we see the side with the advantage is the higher rated player. But Fischer and Chips in game 1 was kind of shaky against the national master. There were a lot of mistakes back and forth. So let's see what happens here. This game is already almost over. We're in an endgame. These guys are blitzing it out. So this is that caro-kann.
Low time. He has low time.
Oh, that's true. Gotta look at it from black side. Caro-kann. So we have bishop takes a7. Oh, wow. So there is bishop takes h2 here, but this looks like it's winning a piece.
Yeah.
All right, so Arga winning the piece right off the bat. White's going for counterplay, but yeah, there's not much here. Oh, this could be scary. Is there a queen c5 check? Yep, he goes for it. Okay, yeah, this is just looking really good for black. And this king is safe. So if the a pawn gets to a7, there's no rook checks.
Yep.
There we go. That's game over. Wow, Arga, what a game.
Yep.
And Arga's our tournament director. He's been running not only these events, the rapid events, but he runs a classical event in our Discord where they play one game a week. And we have like 16 players in that event, Paul. It's really popular.
E5. Oh, or there. I don't think that was the right move.
Oh, here's mate in 2.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is. Oh,
Okay, here's mate in 2.
there you go.
I think he'll find this one. He's still got a minute 50. There we go. King F1.
Question is, do you pre-move?
I think he might go for this one. Oh, he did it. Mate in the corner. So Arga's up to 1 point out of 2. Let's go back to this one. Oh yeah, bishop E3. Rook A G8. Oh, did we see the queen trade happen yet? No, we were back here. So we had queen H8, knight check, queen trade. White snags a pawn. Plays bishop E3. Okay, so white's up a pawn at this point. Black is very active. Obstacle.
So king's got to move. King's got to move.
King E2.
Yeah, wherever it is, they got to move because right now they're just going to win. Or do that. Good call.
I forgot white could castle. That's a really good move.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So there's no like great discovered attacks on the rook that I can see. Right?
I like to move it.
If that bishop came here, it would be a fork. But the rook's in the way.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, so Wiersbe got the advantage. That was a nice sequence. Went for the queen trade, gained the pawn, got developed. I think it's white's game to win here. All right, black is going after the H pawn. That probably does make sense. So this rook has to move. Maybe I spoke too soon or too highly of white's position because rook H4 is coming, and then how do you guard the H pawn? And then black does have this passed pawn. So maybe I take it back. Maybe black has a small edge, Paul.
What about H3 there?
Like rook here, H3, rook takes.
No, H3 before.
Oh, right here.
Right here.
Oh, with rook H2. I like it. Because let's say bishop takes rook, you take my rook, I come back. You could go after the H pawn then. So if we win this, you win that. Nice in between move, Paul. H3.
Yeah, I think he had to.
Instead we see this, and now the H pawn is dropping. Let's check that with Stockfish. Huh, it actually says both lines are equal. And that could be because it's like there's no way to press for the win. H3, bishop takes H1, H takes G, bishop F3, rook G1, rook takes G4, rook takes G4, bishop takes G4. Oh, maybe we couldn't win the H pawn back. So it's still even pawns. I think that's what happened. So eval here. What's your guess?
Oh boy.
White's up 1 pawn. Oh, sorry. This is the end. This is the current position. D4. Oh, black can ignore that. Pawn C4. I think black is up a little bit. I'm going half pawn for black.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Do the activity. I think all these are well placed.
All right.
And pass pawn.
You know better than I do.
0.6.
0.7. 0.6.
0.49. I'll take that one. Turn it off quick.
Stop it right now. Done.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to this game. These players are both on 1 point Hype 71 against Fisher and Chips. Black's still up the 1 pawn. We left it about this point. White's going for queen side play. I like this decision. Trades off the bishop pair. Ah, but that rook on b3 looks ugly because look at this knight pawn on d5.
Awful. Yeah, awful.
How do we get that knight out of there?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Bishop g5 right here for white.
Paul, you've been doing your tactics. Okay, I think you got to play queen e8. It might be forced.
Okay. It gets the rook out. That's the reason I like it too.
Yeah, freeze both rooks up.
Take that rook. Queen takes. Then, yeah. Right here.
It's not listing it. Oh, it doesn't let me play it. I do like that though. I don't know why that's not showing as a line. I'm upping it to 5 lines.
It doesn't show as a line because it probably has a mate right after, and I'm like, oh, snap.
Okay, still not showing. Whatever.
All right, it was a bad move then.
Maybe there's some counter tactic. So we saw knight g3. Oh, wow. So look at this move. Queen e8.
Oh, that's probably also what helped.
And the clock is getting low for white. All right, Fisher and Chips is definitely in the driver's seat now. +2. All of white's pieces are very cramped back here and playing passively. All of black's pieces are really well placed, aggressive, with a 3-minute time edge. Oh, you just take that. Take that and rook takes e1.
Yeah. Oh boy, game over. That's bad. He just lost the piece.
Hype 71. Oh, I just noticed his flare. It says hype. I think you could actually play knight takes d3 here.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, just take the rook.
Yeah, you're hitting both rooks. Let's jump back to this one.
Oh, they fell for that rook loss. Did they? Oh, wait. No, forget it. Sorry.
Oh, his trade. But black did end up with the passed h-pawn. Oh, he abandons it. No, I think you got to keep this passed pawn. That's your winning chances right there.
Well, you have rook takes c5 now. Go forward.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you should insert rook takes c5, right?
Yeah, immediately. Oh, okay, he just did that.
Okay, so we still got the passed pawn for black, but white is up the pawn. This actually feels kind of balanced to me now. I mean, maybe white's a little bit better just having the extra pawn. Bishop d5 looks pretty good, cutting off the rook. Oh, but this pawn is now hanging.
Yeah, the pawns.
Oh, you're right. All the pawns are dropping. All right, white's got a big edge. This is too many pawns to lose.
Rook a5 now?
Yeah, everything else is defended. All these pawns are safe. So rook a5, h5, take here. Oh, that's a nice move. He's trying to take this pawn with check. I like that decision. So now rook a5, h5, take check. King has to go to the back rank, and then rook h7.
Yeah, this is game over. Well, I've said that before, and then...
No, I think it is game over, because with the opposite colored bishops, this pawn can never really stop on this dark square.
Yeah, it's over.
So we'll have bishop and rook pointing at it. Probably still push here, at least. You can get it to h3. Because you want to make this pawn as dangerous as possible. So here, here. Oh, there is this check that might work out and still get the rook back. b3. What's the idea with b3? a4, a5? Yeah, probably pushing a4. Okay, this looks really good for white. To be annoying, I might even guard the f-pawn. Tuck that bishop back on g3, guarding the f-pawn. So that way there's no like rook f1 trying to get a pawn back in return. Oh, he's going for a trap ball. He's going to move this. Rook takes here. Oh, no, okay. I thought he was going to try to fork the rook and bishop. Is he going for stalemate?
I was wondering the same thing. Bishop G3.
Yeah, all the pawns are dropping.
Could you even, well, I won't even say that. Forget it. A5. Just start rolling.
Yep, this one's over. Probably resignable at this point. Oh, look at this. We have the National Master guessing the moves. 3 out of 3. Oh, I see Arga's in the chat. Nice win, Arga. Caro-kann.
F4, F5, F6.
There we go. Got the resignation.
Nice.
So now if we look at the standings, 2 players on 2 out of 2. Oh, Paul, look at this. It shortened the tournament. It's only 3 rounds. So this is the last round.
Great. Well, I have to leave here in a few minutes, Matt.
Okay.
So I will let you know
Sure.
when I'm ready.
No problem. I appreciate you joining. Oh, Arga's saying in the chat, no, he doesn't have the caro-kann course. All right, bishop c5. This is just standard. It's called 3 knights, so this is a common idea. Take on e5, and then if black takes back, you fork these 2 pieces. And I think this line's supposed to be good for white. Because black has
I've fallen for that one before.
Yeah, white's got the bishop pair, black's got to figure out how to get the pawn back. I think bishop d6 might be theory. Or the main move.
Probably.
Bishop d6, take. So I think this is the game we should primarily focus on. These 2 players are playing for first, but let's take a peek at the others. All right, here we see a Smith-Morra. I like this opening. So white gambits a pawn early to get activity. And we're still mainline theory. And now here we see a Scotch gambit, very similar to the Smith-Morra, except black played e5 and took twice. In the other game, it was c5 and took twice.
I was going to say, it looks very similar.
Yeah, so these have very similar ideas too. Like you got the bishop hitting f7, sometimes queen b3. There it is. I like this. White's playing very aggressive. This could be our most exciting game of the round. Because sometimes white will even just let black take on b2 and then take back with the bishop. So they gambit 2 pawns for the attack. Like let's say queen e7, white could castle here, allowing this trade. Board 1, we're still on this position. d4 just played.
The battle of the champs.
Oh, we see a new person in the chat.
Who's in?
Nikon. I don't recognize that username. Nikon, let us know. How did you hear about ChessGoals in the event?
And everybody, please hit the like button.
Oh, yeah. How many likes do we have? 2 likes, 5 viewers.
Matt, did you like it?
No, should I?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, did you see that? He's here from Everything Money.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was an Everything Money guy. That's awesome.
Is he a patron?
Yes.
Nice.
We just hit 4,000 patrons yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats. So
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. But they get the software, so obviously it's a no-brainer.
I was talking to Jesse about that recently. He's excited to work on our trainer app for ChessGoals.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so I still like white's position here. Black's got to take some time to regroup this pawn. Like here, there's bishop f4. Guarding the pawn. It's going to take a little bit. Nikon, do you play on chess.com? Or Elite Chess? Yeah, Paul, everything money event would be amazing. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
How many people do you think would sign up out of the 4,000?
Um, that's a good question. I could put a poll up and ask, but I've had a few people reach out to me talking about chess. Like, Paul, I play. I'm more. I've been involved in a few daily games with some patrons. So, and the great news is they're not like my level. You know what I mean? They're lower, which is all I think better because then it makes it more exciting, more people, etc.
Yeah. I mean, you could open it up to all of your YouTube even. It doesn't have to be Patreon only.
Yeah, for sure.
And you could do something like this. It's really easy to set up. It runs itself.
I'm not doing this. I'm expecting you to do it.
Yeah, I could do it. Make it a Blitz event.
Yeah, what do you think? I'm going to do that? Come on.
Are you going to play?
I'll play in a Blitz event, yeah.
We should do Seth on commentary. It'd be kind of fun.
Great.
What is this horse doing?
Should you try the Queen F3?
Queen F3 right here?
Yeah.
Maybe D6.
Running the YOLO?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I would just castle here.
Probably. It's probably the smart move, Matt.
Well, I sort of like the idea of queenside castling. Because I want to play F4 and get this big center going. There it is. Queen F3.
Oh, wow. They're doing it.
Oh, Nikon's saying he plays on and off as a guest. I forgot chess.com has like guest accounts now. You can just play without a username.
Oh, really?
I believe so. I think that's something to add because ICC always had that back in the day, but you only get paired with other guests, I think is how it works. So it's like you just get a random opponent that doesn't have a rating. Oh, he prefers bullet. Nice. Is that one part?
You down with ICC?
You know me. Yeah, one.
I wonder how many people would do. I wonder how many people would do a chess event. You know me. I like to wait until we have like 10,000, memberships on there, so I can 10,000 people paying for the. I'd like to do some sort of money tournament, Matt. The only concern I have is cheating.
Yeah. I mean, we could
sponsor something like that.
We could run the reports after, especially on Blitz. It's a lot harder to cheat in Blitz.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We run the reports after. I mean, we could even make it like a 5-0 event instead of 5-5. And that keeps, because when you have the increment, sometimes one game, if your event gets too big, one game could drag on for like 20, 30 minutes.
What about like a 5-1?
Yeah, that's possible. Could do that.
Like this. And nothing major, not major money, but just be like, okay, we're going to get, people put in like a few bucks themselves or something. Or I just sponsor the first one and say, hey, first place gets $100, second place gets 75, third place gets 50, and go down. And hopefully we get like 50 or 100 people to play or something.
I'd be willing to sponsor it too if you want.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Well, yeah, we'll figure something out. That'd be fun.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. And you could have prizes like under a certain rating, right? So run it as one big event, like maybe you get 6 rounds and top under 1,600, maybe there's a few prizes, or top under 1,200.
I wonder what time control. All right, Matt, I got to go.
Okay, thanks, Paul, for joining.
Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate it. What am I supposed to do? Should I just leave?
Yeah, I'll just end everything and then switch my cam. Thanks.
All right, cool.
Thanks for joining, Paul. Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, guys. So Paul is left. I'm just going to switch the cam here for a second. There we go. Yeah, Nikon, what do you think about that? Having a everything money event. Is that something you would play in? 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute's really fun. Gets the adrenaline going. So in this position, it's looking pretty balanced. I think in terms of the eval, I think it's close to equal. Let's take a peek. Okay, white's up 1, so white's got a little bit of activity here. 1 point advantage. Let's go around the horn. So we have Arga and Hype both on 1 point out of 2. Arga with a +3 advantage. So what happened here? Okay, this was the Smith-Morra. So remember, white sacrificed the c-pawn. But now if we look at this position, there's some issues with the dark squares for black. Like this is actually a checkmate threat. H takes the bishop, knight d6 is checkmate. Oh, Nikon's saying it's based on what time in Denmark. Yeah, so a lot of times, like we run our events around this time, and so it's sort of in the morning in the US, and then hopefully it's in the early evening or late afternoon in UK. But then usually the time zones that you have trouble with is US versus Australia. But if you're anywhere near like GMT time zone, usually you can make something work. Okay, so here we see this knight infiltrated, winning the rook in the corner. Arga's king is now tucked away very safely, and the black king is still exposed. And Arga is up +3. So this is looking very good for white. This game is probably the slowest moving one of the round. Still looking pretty balanced, but white has a nice knight on d5. Last time we checked, there was probably a 1 point advantage for white, but material's even. So this game might go down to an endgame. And in this one, white did recapture on c3. Again, we see another strong knight on d5 for white. And e5 is threatened, so going for this fork. Okay, how does black get out of this? Trade on d5. Oh, I don't like this decision though. Queen takes f4 does drop the knight. So white's up a piece here. Black has a few pawns for it. There's 3 pawns for the piece. But in general, even though the material is even, a piece is a lot stronger than 3 pawns unless the pawns are close to becoming pass pawns. So in this case, I really like white's position. I think having that extra piece is going to be really beneficial. All right, in this game, Fisher and Chips goes for the queen trade. And I think he's got a slight advantage here in the endgame. Pieces are just a little bit better placed. All right, so black has 2 sets of double pawns now. White has the bishop pair. I think the plan for white should be probably play queenside. Yeah, bishop e3. I kind of want to move the king up, f3, and then push over here on the queen side. Guard the h-pawn. But if we can get the b and a pawns rolling, that looks pretty good. Oftentimes with the bishop pair, what you want to do is attack on the flanks. Attack with the rook pawns, because the bishops are so good at playing in the open board. That should do a good job. Sorry, I just had to reset that camera quick. Looked like it was frozen. Arga still with a nice attack. Now there's bishop to a5 check threatened, winning the queen. And this king is almost getting checkmated here. Just going to be difficult. How does black get out of this? Trying to think if they can retreat their queen. Because white's still +2, so you don't really want to play like queen here to allow the queen trade. But that might have been the only option. Is there a way that white can finish this for the checkmate? I think I would keep the queens on. You bring this queen back and try to just checkmate the black king out in the open. Bishop here check is what I want to play. If knight takes, take back with the queen. So probably queen f3 or queen e2. Trying to check on this diagonal. Because I think what black wants to do is tuck their king away on a7. So let's see what Arga does here. I don't think it's a queen sack position. It's close though. If there's a way you could check with the knight, the black king is almost mated over there. Expect queen back. Oh, he's going for the queen trade. Okay. So it's still a position he can convert in the endgame. If knight takes, bishop check. It's very close to a checkmate. Oh, we do have our first result. Looks like we had a fork. Oh, nice tactic by white. So Bonafide put his knight on c5, hitting the bishop. Black defends, but now look at this sequence. Really nice tactic. Queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, rook. If king takes, which happened in the game, there's a fork, and if rook takes, the b7 bishop drops. Very nice tactic by white. So that was enough to win the game. Bonafide ends on 1 point out of 3. NM Avanthika ends on 0 out of 3. Thank you for playing, guys, if you're in the chat. Andy Ward's, okay, so Bonafide is now in the YouTube chat. Only saw it on the last move. This was a really good game, Andy. I like this game a lot. Because I was saying back here, your knight, your extra piece for the 3 pawns is probably much more valuable. Because those pawns aren't passed pawns, they're not creating any problems. And I think you did the right thing here. I mean, you just put your knight on this monster square c5, controlling the bishop, controlling all these important squares. And this is pretty much a knight outpost. No pawns can kick it. And that led to tactics. Very good finish. Yeah, and you were about to harvest those pawns. I mean, the pawns weren't going to live much longer. Because even in this position, like let's say black trades queens and plays passively, you're controlling everything. So there's this pawn you could pick up for free. Probably might as well take that. And then I don't know how black gets out of this position, because if this rook moves, bishop c4 and f7's a big target. And what your plan's going to be is put this knight right back on c5 probably, because he's so strong there. So you want knight c5, bishop c4, fork ideas. I'm not sure how black gets out of this. Rook takes f7 is even a threat. Rook f1 next. Nice game, Andy. Very nice. Oh, is there a tactic here? Bishop takes pawn. Bishop takes. Rook here. Looks forced. He finds it. Pre-moves rook a8. So Fisher and Chips is going to be +2 on material. This is probably, at this level, this should be enough to win. You know, there's enough time on the clock for white. I think this will be winning. King moves, take the rook, and then the rook comes back. So I think knight e7 is probably needed. But then white could play over here on the king side. Try to make a pass pawn. Maybe win g7. Yeah, this is looking like enough to win for white. h4, g4, h5. This looks like the most straightforward plan to me. So I would start h4 because there's a nice little trick here. Threatening rook g8. If king f6, bishop g5 check, king moves and you win that critical pawn. This move order looks fine too. King f6 and then h4. How does black defend that pawn with bishop check coming? I think the pawn's dropping. And once that pawn drops, then g4 and h5 is coming. Alright, so it looks like Wiersbe might be trying to trap this rook. Very interesting decision. I'm not sure what the best way to trap it is because there is bishop here and take. King here, rook over. Maybe that's the best. Try to get the rook stuck somewhere over here on the h-file. But it's not a trap. The rook should always be able to get freed. Nikon's saying you'd move king up. King f6 in this position. My voice is getting tired of talking. I'm not used to talking too much. Okay, we got the pin. So white's going to take, get the rook free. Yeah, this looks over. King f2 is coming with tempi. That bishop has to retreat. King e3. Yep. Oh, king f2 before. Yeah, here I think you take. I mean, okay, so actually, instead of taking, let's go rook g8 first. Very nice. Wait until the king moves out and then take the knight. Buys you an extra move. Rook b8 here looks good. Oh, maybe f4 even. Threatens e5. So the plan should be king up to e3, f4. These will trade off, and then you go g4, h4, h5. White's up the exchange and a pawn. Nikon, have you checked out our website yet? ChessGoals.com. It'd be awesome to have you. I dropped the link in the YouTube chat. And you can email me anytime too if you have questions about it, Nikon. So h4 with the idea g4 and h5, and just do it slowly if you need to. King e3, f4, g4, h5. Maybe you put the rook behind this pawn. You'll just try to tie black down. No need to rush it. King e3 is a really good move. g4 now looks good. Even rook b7 check. Maybe you just leave the rook there. Keeping an eye on this pawn and this pawn. And sometimes if this king moves up and your rook's behind the king, you can sometimes create like a checkmate in the middle of the board. Okay, Wiersbe's playing active defense with his king. I like that decision. But after king b8, the rook is a lot faster than the black king. So I don't know what Wiersbe does here to make any progress. Because after h5 takes, there's the passed h-pawn, and somehow this bishop needs to get back to block it. You could almost just push here. That's how fast and how dangerous this pawn is. I think you could even sacrifice the rook. Take, push, and queen's coming next. Awesome, Nikon. Thanks for the support. With the bell on for notifications. I like it. Yeah, I haven't been posting a ton, Nikon. You know, for a while I was doing one video a day. It kind of dropped to like 3 a week. And the last week or so, it's been even a little bit less because I've been trying to focus on, I'm creating a Slav opening course for black. I've been trying to really focus on getting that course completed. And it directly conflicts with time to make the YouTube videos. Hey, Smithy Q, good to see you in the chat. It's Jonathan. He's got a Chessable course you guys should check out. And the tournament is over. Fisher and Chips, 3 out of 3. I'm not sure who Fisher and Chips is. Fisher and Chips, if you're in the... Oh, Randall Warner's. Chess Dojo and ChessGoals member. Fisher and Chips, if you're in the YouTube chat, let us know if you're also a part of our Discord or not. Because I don't recognize the name. Oh, there's Randall. Randall, are you part of the Discord? Are you in the ChessGoals Discord? Smithy Q, it's still good to have you. I mean, it started early, but I think right now we might have the most viewers we've had today. Okay, Randall says not in the Discord. No. Okay, Randall, will you email me matt@chessgoals.com? I want to give you a prize for winning the event. So email matt@chessgoals.com and go to our shop page. Pick out a study plan, and I'll send you the study plan as your prize for winning today's event. And that also gets you access to our Discord. And you can become a ChessGoals member. It's a really nice job today, Randall. Your first game, I think, was one of the toughest games. Like, you had so many tactics back and forth. And Paul was commentating with me at the time. We looked at the chart, and it was going like this. Just up and down, up and down. But you ended up pulling out the win, which is impressive. Yeah, Arga's saying that's really cool. Yeah, I appreciate you, everyone playing. And also, Randall, we have a simul coming up in 1 week. So on the 24th. If you want this guarantee, winning this event today guarantees you free entry to the simul. And that's open to 10 players. And I'm also planning on doing a live stream of that. And second place was a tie between Wiersba and Hype71. So Hype71, I don't know if you're in the chat. But if you are, we'll offer you a free entry. I mean, the simul is free, but we'll guarantee you an entry to the simul as well. Hype71 if you're interested. So we're reserving 2 simul slots for the winners of today's event. In Wiersba, of course, you can always get in if you want to, because you're already a Discord member. Yeah, people are saying good job to Randall. It's all on rating. Well played, Fisher. Well played, all. We can go for a few more minutes. Are there any general chess questions, chess goals questions that you guys have? Feel free to ask in the YouTube chat. And we'll probably just wrap up in a few minutes, or if there's no questions, we'll wrap up now. Oh, make sure to like the video too, guys, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. It's probably an ambitious goal, but slowly but surely we'll hopefully get there. I think we're at 421 subs now. Great question, Andy. Best way to go about playing someone 400 points higher rated? So I don't know if Smithy Q is still in the chat, but we talked about this a little bit when we were doing our stream together for the team event. And we both agreed that when we play lower rated players, around the 400 point lower range, the most dangerous opponents are the ones that just go at us hard. They play aggressively and they play for the initiative. So I think that's what you want to do against someone 400 points higher. If you look at the first game that Randall had, Fisher and Chips, his opponent was playing very tactical chess. So there was just a lot of tactics flying around left and right. And what that does is that increases the variance. It increases the chance of craziness happening back and forth. That's how you can beat someone 400 points higher. If you play really solid, chances are that player that's 400 points higher than you is going to be just enough better than you at all aspects of the game that they can just figure out how to grind you down in a low risk way. So I always say play aggressive against someone that's quite a bit higher. And if you're playing someone 400 points lower, you also still want to play for the initiative, but I think you want to do it in a more solid manner. Like just make sure that they don't have any big threats. Keep poking at their position, create questions for the opponent, but really they'll probably make their own mistakes if they're 400 points lower than you. Oh, and the worst thing you can do, if you're playing someone 400 points higher than you, don't always trust that they see things that you miss. Sometimes they miss things, and if you don't capitalize because you just assume that they're 400 points better, that's going to ruin your chances to beat them. So always trust your own calculation. Anyone else have any questions or things you want to talk about? See, we have, looks like 6 people still watching. Yeah, you're welcome, Andy. Thanks for playing today. And thanks to Arga for running this event. So Arga Sen has been running our classical events 1 game a week. And he also runs these rapid events. So I really appreciate it, Arga. Or use traps. Yeah. And still lose. And the faster the time control is, the better the traps work too. Like playing aggressive definitely pays off in faster games. One thing I've noticed, I'm playing in a OTB event right now, 1 game a week, and they're slow games, 60-minute plus 30 increment. I'm not playing aggressive enough. I'm playing too solid. I need to press a little bit more. All right, so I don't see any more questions. I think we'll wrap up the stream there. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you around, whether it's YouTube chat, Discord, or in the ChessGoals chess.com club. So thanks for watching everyone. Have a good rest of your day.